Hey, all you party people. What a nice playlist. Isn't that a nice playlist? It kind of puts me in the right mood. And we don't have a feed. Where did the camera go, guys? Oh no, we might have to get that back. But let's. Oh no, I got it. Welcome to my new home studio. This almost didn't happen because I moved on Monday, and as early as today, I was like rifling through boxes and things, looking for cables to make this happen. And you're seeing the normal gear that you normally would see in my studio, but to make this one happen, this particular session, this VST Connect session with special, extraordinary producer, guest Devin Lougheed happen, I needed so much gear and so much more than usual. I have 3 computers running. We have keyboards. We have all kinds of things happening tonight. This is going to be really fun. We're going to try, this could easily get out of hand, but we're going to try to keep it to a reasonable length. When Devin and I were rehearsing earlier for this, it was too much fun, and we probably could still be rehearsing and making tracks and having a good time. But we wanted to bring it to you. So without further ado, we will kind of get this thing going. I'm going to show you guys how to use VST Connect. For those that don't know about this technology, it's ridiculous. It's amazing. It's kind of groundbreaking and legendary. And one of the reasons I wanted Devin on the session tonight was because Devin's actually using this to make records. I know on the next Sky Wallace record, for those of you that don't know, Devin has a band called Altered by Mom. They're wicked. He also produces Sky Wallace and a bunch of other really super awesome people. He's lived all over the country. This is a man about town who knows what's up, and he's using VST Connect to do sessions. I know he did some tracks, drum tracks and bass tracks, and not sure what else, but maybe he can let us in on that for the new Sky Wallace record. And so he's got this thing working. What it is it's a way during a time like this in a pandemic, although we can use this anytime. It's a technology that allows us to do recording sessions remotely. So I am here in my new home studio in my new place that I just moved on Monday. Devin is at his place. I'm in East Toronto. He's in the west end of Toronto. And we're connected through the internet. And we're going to do a session. This is mind blowing. Anyway, so it's really not that difficult, and hopefully we can show you tonight. You may be wondering, hey, can I do this with a whole band? At the moment, it's peer-to-peer, meaning it's from one studio to another studio. I can't have people, one person in Berlin, one person in New York, one person in Paris. I can't do that quite yet, but maybe that will come at some point. I hope it does. But what I could do is I could call my friend in New York, do the session with them, and then I could call my friend in Berlin and do the session with them. And you could multi-track it that way. So it will work anywhere in the world as long as there's a good internet connection. Let me say that again. A good internet connection. Let me say that one more time. A really good internet connection. And on my initial testing with this, admittedly, it took me a little while to get this technology going. And the reason is I was trying to make it happen through Wi-Fi. Now, I'm sure it can somewhere happen through Wi-Fi. But here's the thing with Wi-Fi is that Wi-Fi has a built-in buffer. And so every once in a while, the connection is interrupted while it buffers. And when that happens, it sort of makes the connection to VST Connect a little bit unstable. So what I'm recommending is if you want to try this, make sure that you have a direct line. So I just had the internet installed like yesterday in here, which was, I know I'm living on the edge. This is super risky what we've got happening here, but there's a really fast connection in this house. And so I ran a cable from upstairs all the way down the stairs and in, and I've got it plugged in, and it's into like a switcher. And so I've got everything plugged in direct. So all my computers are plugged in direct right now. I'm gonna get a hard line installed in this house. So you can actually run it through the wall, and I can plug into the wall in each room if I want to. But we didn't have time for that because, as I said, it was yesterday. So I'm just running a big long 100-foot cable through the house, but it works great. So all you have to do is make sure you plug into the back of your modem. Any service provider will do, but the faster your connection, the faster this will be. The second thing that you will need is some kind of webcam. Most laptops these days have a webcam built in. You'll notice that on this session, I'm running off my MacBook. Normally I run off my studio PC, but this is on my MacBook. Because of the webcam, my studio PC doesn't have a webcam. And I'll tell you about one other thing that happened with my studio PC in the testing, which is important. So I'm running off my MacBook because it has a webcam. And other than that, you just need Cubase. And there's two versions of VST Connect. There's a Pro version, which is what we're going to use tonight, which gives you more options. If you want to dig into all the details, you can. Or there's an SE version, which is a free version. Pro is a paid version. SE is a free version. They both work great. The paid version is not very much money, so I'd recommend it. It lets you have high resolution files, and there's a couple other cool things about it. But I would go with Pro if you can, but if you want to just try it, try the SE version because it works well as well. And that's about it. A laptop with a webcam and VST Connect, Cubase, Nuendo, one of these applications that has it built in. So that's it, and it's pretty easy. And then you need a session, and then you need really talented friends. If you have really talented friends, this is super good, especially if in a pandemic they're not part of your 10 people and you can't see them, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so what happened with my PC was every time I booted VST Connect, the Cubase and the computer would crash, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on here? I don't understand it. So I did a little research. Because I really didn't want to have to buy a computer unless I really, really needed to, because I just moved and it's expensive and I don't have a lot of money right now. And so a new computer wasn't going to be in the cards. So what I learned is that VST Connect likes it if you have a modern video card. So if you're working with a really old computer like that one, which is, it's probably 8 or 10 years old, it's not going to happen. On the other hand, Devin is running a Mac Pro, which I think is pretty old, and he's doing okay with that. His is old too, but it's working. So I think it depends on how old and what your video card is. I'm pretty confident that this will work on anything that's modern. So don't worry about that. It works both PC and Mac. And on the performer side, so the way we're going to do this tonight, initially I have a session set up. I got this little, it's the end of a thing I'm working on. I'm going to talk about what I use to do this in a sec, but and I wanted Devin to play some guitar on this, so it's the end of this tune. So he's on what's called VST Performer on the other side. And VST Performer can run off an iPad, off a laptop, Mac PC, it doesn't matter. It's a free app that you can download. And all you need on that side is some kind of sound card or interface into it. So for instance, you can use like one of these Steinberg UR-RT4s or UR-22s or whatever interface you have that you use for normal recording. You can use that as the input on the performer side, and then it goes through this free app and we connect and you're recording that way. This is super cool, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I'm happy that we still got here. Did get here. So this little track here, I'm also talking about a couple other things tonight too. I recently, my good friend Charmaine at Yamaha Canada Music, there's this new keyboard. It's called a YC61. I think I might have mentioned it before. And it's a performance keyboard. It's sort of specializes in organ sounds. It's got drawbars like those old organs that, you know, those big things that people play. And this is maybe one of my favorite digital instruments ever. It's crazy good. Like, it's so good. So anyway, this track that you're about to hear has a drum loop from the built-in Cubase stuff and a bass loop from the built-in Cubase stuff. But then all the other tracks, there's like electric piano and there's some organs and stuff. All that was from the YC61, and I just played it in because I love playing this thing. And it's got the waterfall keys for those that have played real organs. The waterfall keys, you can like slide up and down and make all these crazy sounds. And if you're like me and you do too much of that, if you do it on a regular keyboard, you clip the side and the key goes flying, and you're breaking keys all the time. And you end up spending more money repairing your keyboard than you actually spent on the keyboard, which is a true story. But in any case, waterfall keys, it feels great. It sounds unbelievable. So you're going to get to hear that a little bit tonight too. So YC61, VST Connect, let's get to it. So I've got my session here. I've pulled it up. This is just a normal session, and when you're going to work with somebody this way, make sure you've got your session all done and it's there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the VST Cloud menu at the top. I don't think that's on your screen. Sorry, the camera angle is on an angle because there's so much stuff in here right now that I couldn't. It's the only way I could do it. So you go up to the top and there's a menu called VST Cloud. And then when I click on that, you'll see a drop down for VST Connect Pro or VST Connect SE. As I said, we're going to use VST Connect Pro tonight. And when I click on VST Connect Pro, I get another drop down and it says Create VST Connect. So I just want to do that. I'm going to create VST Connect, and we crashed. So we're going to start again. Sorry, guys. This technology does work. It works really well. There are some quirks that we discovered that we will point out along the way. And admittedly, Devin and I crashed a couple of times when we were working on it, but nothing was too dramatic. It prevented us from doing work. We are asking a lot of our computers doing this. One of the reasons I have so many machines happening tonight simultaneously is because what we had hoped we could do, so I could actually just share my screen with you, what I had hoped we could do was run OBS, which is the broadcasting software, off the same computer as VST and VST Connect and Cubase. It worked. However, it was pretty laggy. The video got super laggy, and so we figured this would be a better way to do it, just so that the video wasn't like 2 hours behind everything else. So let's try this again. VST Cloud menu, VST Connect Pro, and then we go to Create VST Connect. And there it goes. My webcam turned on, and I got this cool screen. Let me put that in the middle so you can see it. Okay, so that's the VST Connect screen. And down in this corner here, that's me. That's my webcam. So I'm happening. So the first thing I do, and if you haven't already done this, anyone who's using Cubase should probably go and do this anyway. You should go to steinberg.net and make a My Steinberg account. You get to choose your username and password, because you'll need that to make this happen. So I've got mine, and if anyone wants to jam with me, my name is listed as B-E-E-E-E-E, like B and a whole bunch of E's, like B for Brent Bowdrug. There's a lot of B's in my name. I used to have a company called B Group. I'm obsessed with bees. What can I say? Not the animal, although I do like honey. Anyway, I'm going to sign in. So I put my credentials in here, and there's a little check mark, and so I'm going to sign in. And now I'm signing in. And it should say B right there. That's where it says B. And I've got, if I want to search for one of my friends, I can go to this side where it says Find User, and I can type in someone's name if I know their username, and I can find them. But because Devin and I have been doing this a little bit, under my Friends tab here, Devin Lougheed is here. So if Devin is around, he can oh, did you see that? Oh, it's Devin. Check it out. Okay, now before Devin talks, hang tight for a sec. When I did that Create VST Connect thing, it created a track here called Performer Rec. And when that happens, if I'm going to hear Devin on his mic, I got to put the monitor on. Devin, are you there?
I am here.
He is there.
Test.
Look at that.
I am not.
Can you guys believe this? Like, I don't know. Like, we've done this a bunch. I'm still blown away by the fact that Devin is there, and I can hear him, and like
it's still pretty wild.
Yeah, this is mind blowing for me. I would also like to point out the twinkly lights that Devin had. His studio is much cooler than mine. I think I need to up my twinkly
lights.
Game.
They're supposed to twinkle on this side too, but they've burned out.
Oh no! So the pattern on the ceiling is not happening Oh no, it was so good. It was great. I got the light show earlier. So anyway, what you'll have to do is you'll have to hire Devin to produce your record. And then if you hired him to make your record, he'll show you the light show on the ceiling. I'm sure he would do that.
Yeah, see the spinny lights.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Here we are. And this track is the track we're going to record on, this track that was here. Now, let me take you on a teeny bit of a tour through this window here, which is pretty cool. It's pretty straight. It looks kind of complicated, and admittedly, the first time I looked at it, I was a little stressed out and intimidated by it, even though I'm kind of a geek. But anyway, so there's down at the bottom here, there's a bunch of different things I can click. So let's click on the first one. This is where I saw my Find User and my Friends tab. The second one is kind of my mixer. And over here on the left, I've got my stereo output, which is the whole thing. I've got the studio mix. So this is like the volume that I get to send to Devin. And then I've got VSTI, and I've got 1, and I've got 2, and I've got a plus minus over here, which I'll show you what that's for in a second. But basically, these faders here, this is what Devin is sending to me. So on the first channel here, it says mic. And if Devin talks, we can see
Hello, hello, hello.
we can see the mic channel went there. So that's working. If we click on the little box above it here, this gives us all the inputs that we have. Now, where are these inputs from? These inputs are from Devin's house. So I'm accessing the inputs on his sound card from here. So I know, because we talked about it before, that his mic is audio device 1. This second channel, audio device 2, is some kind of guitar. And I know that he's got this weird, crazy looking thing that he's going to play as well on channel 3. So I can add, using my plus thing here, I can add another channel. It defaults to stereo 1 and 2, but I can put that on 3. So now I have his mic, his guitar, and then this weird looking thing we're going to do. I can also, by double clicking on this, I can rename these tracks. So let's call this vocal. I don't know if you can see this in the screen, but that's okay. Just double clicking there. Guitar. Oops. Having trouble typing because the light show was too intense and I can't see things very well. And I'm going to call this input, I'm going to call this one question marks because it's so crazy what's about to happen on there. Okay, so I've just configured input 1, input 2, input 3 on Devin's sound card. Pretty awesome. We're almost ready to go. The next little box here at the bottom is this little square thing. This allows me to float the video window. So if I want to keep this sort of as one window and I want to float the video window here as well, I can. But I don't have to. If I select it again, it just puts Devin back in the main window. So I can move him back and forth depending on how I like it. Now, if this was a proper session and I didn't have cameras and stuff on, I would have my 2 monitors and I'd have it all spread out and I'd have Devin up there all the time and I'd have, I could see everything at the same time. But for now, this is how we got it going. Now, the little wheel here, this is where all the magic happens. And this is where we spent a bit of time experimenting and looking for things. What we found is that it's not always best to use the default. At least I found this. I'm not sure if Devin found the same thing, but we found this one setting that was kind of a problem. It actually made the difference between this working and not working. And that setting is right here called remote delay seconds. Now I'm sure this setting is different for everyone's computer. It probably has to do with the processing and probably has to do with how fast your connection is and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not telling you to use my setting on your computer unless it's the best setting, of course. But when it defaulted, it defaulted to 1.5 seconds. And what was happening was Devin would play his guitar and it would be like about 2 hours behind the track. Obviously, that's not going to work very well for a session. That doesn't work very well. So then I went to the other extreme and I put it at 0.1 seconds, so the smallest. And then we couldn't hear anything. Every once in a while, we'd hear this little click. And so what happens is that if the setting is too low, the audio will cut out. If the setting is too high, there will be latency. There will be a delay. So you have to fiddle with that until you get it just right. I think Devin on his computer, the default worked, right?
Yeah, default worked for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's that. But in any case, all this is showing me is audio upstream, video upstream. So I can change the resolution of my audio and video. Here's my video device, which is right now is the FaceTime camera here. And I can set my bit depth over here. I've got it set for 24 bits. What's that, you say? You can record 24 bits over the internet? Yes, I can, as a matter of fact. And the way I can do that is when we're working, what I'm actually hearing is an MP3. So the audio that goes back and forth between us over the internet is an MP3. But when we're finished and when we're happy that we have everything, I can download all of the HD files. So I get these files coming in as 48 kilohertz 24-bit, which is pretty epic. JG, hey JG, she just told me we got some questions. I'm just going to finish this little bit and then I'll go and I'll look at the question computer. There's too many screens to look at and I'll lose track here. So thank you, JG. We're getting there. So okay, so that's this kind of configuration. Now, if I go to the second tab here, which is Performer, this is Devin's rig. So it shows me what he's got. He's got a Steinberg UR RT4 interface. He's got audio upstream, video upstream for his. Now, this is kind of cool. Devin's Mac Pro doesn't have a webcam either. So how you doing the video, Devin?
Yeah, this is through some random app that I got that actually turns my iPhone into a webcam. So I'm using the inside camera. That's why I'm kind of like, when I look at you, I have to look up. It's not exactly in the right place, but it's doing the trick. So that's just plugged right into the Mac Pro. Future is now.
It's amazing. We are getting I do have a little bit of latency for your audio coming in. I hope that's not going to be a problem in the recording, but we'll try it. We'll see where we're at. That crash may have screwed us up, but hopefully not. So yeah, pretty awesome. If you don't have a webcam, you can make your phone work. There's an Android equivalent as well, because I looked into it. I have an Android and an iPhone, and there's an app for both that will allow them to turn into a webcam. So it's beyond the scope of the Steinberg session, but just know that it can be done. And you know, if you spend a little time with the Googler, it will hook you up with all that information. So another thing I want to note here is that over here there's MIDI input and output. And the cool thing, we're not going to demo this tonight because this is, again, beyond the scope of what we're going to do tonight. But we did experiment with it, and it was really cool. I can actually, from a keyboard controller, use a virtual instrument in here. So one of my synths or one of my keyboard instruments that I like that's like a virtual VST instrument, I can actually send that to Devin. So if you don't have hardware instruments, guitars and keyboards and drums, and you're not a singer and all the things that use microphones and we plug in, you can also do this remotely with MIDI. So don't think just because, you know, your friend somewhere far away doesn't have an elaborate recording setup that you can't pull this off. You still can using virtual instruments. That's pretty cool. Okay, and then the third tab here, Manager. This is where we're going to see where all the recordings that we do show up. And under Get HD Files over here, this is where we download the high resolution files at the end. And then under Recordings, there's nothing there right now, but we'll take a look at that later, and you'll see there will be a whole bunch of stuff in here as well. Let's take a look at the questions, and then we'll try to do some of this stuff. Okay. What do we got here? Wow. Sorry, guys. I've been ignoring you. I didn't mean to. It's not intentional. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's because I really enjoy doing this. Aya says that she's shocked that I'm doing this after just moving, and admittedly, it was a little crazy to make it happen, but I'm happy to be here doing it with you guys, and these sessions are always fun, and I really wanted to, so happy to be here. Okay, what's the name of the keyboard again? How much does it cost in Canada? Oh, JG took care of that one. That's easy. YC61. Okay, I just want to say something else about this keyboard. You know, my job is to kind of learn these things and to kind of understand how they work. So I was given one of these, and these are in short supply right now because they're really popular. We're sold out of them across the country. There's more coming soon, but it's unusual to have one of these at the moment. They're not available. So when I got this, you know, I was pretty excited about it. And, you know, normally what I do is I play for a bit, and then I start to try to figure things out. And this one the first night, I think I played for 3 or 4 hours. I didn't spend 1 minute trying to figure anything out. I just played. It was so exciting and so fun to play. I just played. And I couldn't stop playing because I loved it so much. So this is it's a really great instrument, if that makes sense. You know, sometimes digital instruments don't, you can't connect to them. This one is super easy to connect to. I felt connected to it immediately. So I can't hype this instrument enough. And I promise you, my hype has nothing to do with the fact that I work for Yamaha. This is a killer instrument. So I hope you'll all check it out. Do both parties have to be running Cubase? Hi, Steve. Okay, so yeah, so the host, so one of you is a host and the other person is the guest. And the host is the studio. Think of it like the control room in a studio. And the guest is the performer. So they're out in the live room. So in a traditional studio space, you know, someone sits with the console and the computer in one room, and then there's a performer in the other room. It's the same thing. The only difference is that it's the internet connecting us. So as long as the host has Cubase, a version of Cubase that will run VST Connect, the person on the other end has a free app called VST Performer. It's free. So in other words, all your friends, your talented friends, they don't have to be Cubase people. They can use whatever they want. They just have to download this app to connect with us. So, so yeah, that's, you don't have to be working with, you don't have to be working with everybody using Cubase. That's fine. Okay, whoever's producing the track needs Cubase. Okay, so you guys are working all this out. You don't need me to be answering anything. Okay, are we caught up? I think we're almost caught up here. Hey, Devin, let's make some music, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Should I play
Okay.
guitar first?
Yeah, let's play some guitar. What do you got there? What's going on? Oh, look at that
Oh,
guitar.
here I clonk. This is a Yamaha Revstar, of course. Quite fun.
What do you use it? Do you use this like you play this? You use this in the studio live. You use this for all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah. I use this one, then I've got another one that has two P90s, and I go back and forth between them. I think they're totally great. I've got this bass cut thing that I can kind of get into like strat tone territory. Otherwise, this one's kind of less polished, I'd guess. And the one with P90s, it just roars. It's actually my favorite, but it's a little like buzzier, hummier as the P90s are, so I figured I'd use this one too.
Nice. Okay, so we got. I'm hearing you. We got that. So I'm gonna hit record. I'm gonna record enable the track here, like I would any track. Okay, so what I have to do is I've got, here's his mic, here's his guitar, and here's that other mystery instrument that's coming. So what I have to do on my end, because I'm the studio person, is I have to click right here on the track that I want to use, and then I can control how loud he is with this knob up top here. This is my volume for this track, and I just turned him up. Now, I have to do one other thing, because if I play the track now, Devin's not going to hear it. So when I go to my mixer, I'm just going to hide Devin for a second. Under the Q mix section here, and if you can't find it, you go under racks at the top and you look for Q sends. You got to look for that and make sure it's enabled. So so what happens is as soon as I create this VST Connect thing, all the Q sends get populated with these things. So all the tracks I want them to hear, I have to turn on the Q send. So I have a click track here. I've got a couple of drum things. So there's the first drum thing. And all I'm doing is just turning on this Q mix thing. And so that's the second drum thing.
I love Q mixing. It took me forever to get. It's like a little scary at first, but if you're recording other people and you're like in your studio and you're not using the control room, it's worth it. It's worth jumping in.
So a couple things that are cool about this. So I just enabled the Q send on every track for Devin. But sometimes you'll have a performer and there's like a part in the track that's like if maybe it's a weird syncopated thing or something is a little different about it, and it throws off the performance, and they can't make it happen with that. You could leave it in the mix so you're hearing it in the studio, but I can disable the Q send. So Devin isn't hearing it on his end, only I'm hearing it. And that way he doesn't get screwed up in his performance, although Devin, I'm sure, can play with anything and he'd be fine. But, you know, sometimes, especially with a lot of vocalists, if there's kind of a dissonant chord part in the track that throws off their pitch or whatever, you can turn off the Q send, but you can still monitor it so you know how the vocal will work with it, but the performer doesn't necessarily need to hear it. So you can basically customize the mix that goes to them, and then you can have your own mix, same as you would in a studio. Okay, so let's see, Devin. Let's see. This might be loud, but let's see what's going on. So let's play the track and see what's going on.
Sure, sounds good.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Okay, I don't want to miss the good stuff. So, is the levels okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to go into record. Here we go. Now, some of you may have seen I hit talk back here because I wanted to talk to Devin over top of the track. As soon as I hit play on the track, my mic gets turned off. And just while we're talking, we have the mics plugged into the interface as well. That's part of it. The mic has to go through the interface to each other as well. Okay, you ready, Devin?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. I think he has pedals.
Yes.
He has pedals. Okay, here we go.
Can't resist.
Cool. Hey guys, we just recorded a part over the internet. Check it out. That's ridiculous, man. Okay, so what I wanted to say is these lights here in the event monitor, these will, if they're green, it shows you that your connection to each other is good. Now, it's okay if they flash red, because they will from time to time. Don't panic if they start flashing red. It's better if they're green all the time, and that means that your system is working really well. But if they flash a little bit of red, don't panic. It means you're still working. Okay, I love the direction, man. Like maybe, can we use some of those, what do you have on the tone over there? Can we put something on this tone?
You want something a little, let's do something a little funkier.
Yeah, let's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe that's a lot. Let's see.
So what do you got over there? You got a pedal board, right?
Yeah. So here I've got a pedal board, and I'm going from the guitar into a tuner, into some drives and stuff. I've got a phaser, as you can hear.
Nice.
And this is a Love Pedal Fuzz that I think is the coolest distortion ever. And then it actually goes into a 2-notes preamp. So it's a tube preamp that has a simulated cabinet option on it that I think sounds great. So it goes right into the interface, and it's so easy.
It's got a lot of gear. There's a lot of gear over there. I've been to I've been to Devin's studio, so I know how much gear he has. Anyway, okay, this sounds cool. Can we try one more? Let's try it again.
Yeah, let's do it.
We good? Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
awesome. I love it. Right at the end, the phaser went as the note was spinning. This is really cool. Yeah, I love the play. Okay, this is too much fun, you guys. Thanks for coming to the session. This is great. Okay, so I think you get the idea. This works. This is pretty awesome. Now, we just mentioned Devin has a pile of gear. He's fortunate to have all this stuff, and so he can send me all kinds of tones. But some of you may be asking, well, what if I don't have all like a zillion pedals like Devin has? Can I get like a cool guitar tone? Well, the engineers at Steinberg think you should have a cool guitar tone using some of the built-in software. And this is pretty awesome. Check this out. So if I can select the channel, so the second channel here, this is Devin's guitar part. And along the bottom here, I've got reverb, compression, EQ, and I've got insert. If I go to the insert tab, I see inserts here. And for those of you that are used to mixing, you are used to putting effect inserts on things and EQs and fuzzes and all kinds of things. And this gives me access to Devin's computer. So whatever plugins he has on his system, we can both access them at the same time, which is pretty fun. So if I click on the top insert here, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff. Like I got all his plugins here. I'm gonna choose one of our Steinberg Yamaha plugins called GA Classics Crunch. So I select that. Oh. So if just so that you don't think that there's trickery happening here, if I turn that insert off, how come I'm still hearing it? Should I still be hearing it?
Maybe I have to turn it on.
Do you have to turn it on? There we go. That's the tone.
DI tone, baby.
DI tone. Okay, so let's hear it with the plugin again. This is built in. This is a free one. Oh yeah. Okay, awesome. In the rehearsal, he was playing Nirvana. It was fun. Anyway, okay, so
you crack the gain on this thing, and they do sound like a DS1. It's
yeah,
kind of awesome.
oh, the Boss, the orange Boss pedal, wicked. You see what I'm saying? We're having too much fun with this. Sessions are really long when you do them this way. Anyway, okay, so I'm still in record enable here. Let's just try another track here and see what's going on. Okay, are you good, man? We good?
Yeah.
Here we go. Cool. Awesome. Nice. I like the approach, man. That was cool. Okay, so let's actually, we haven't listened to anything. Let's just verify that it's actually happening here. Now, when I turn off my monitor, I can't hear Devin anymore. He disappears. So if he starts trying to talk to me, I won't hear him right now. But let's have a listen and just confirm that actually, in fact, recorded. So here we go. Okay, so it in fact works, and that's pretty awesome. Now, let's show you the final part of the process, which is now that we've kind of got all these things, I want to download them into my session. So we go back to the little spinny wheel here, And now you can see under Performer Rec, I've got these 3 boxes, which represents the 3 things that we did, and we see the list of names for the 3 tracks that we recorded. And all I have to do is go to the manager, get HD files, and look at what's going on over here. It just made a bunch of things, and now at the bottom of this window, you can see we've got a progress bar. So it's showing me that it's downloading all these things to my computer, and we'll just wait for it. While we're waiting, is there any other questions? Yeah, Derek says I should get a dry guitar looped through so you can just reamp it later. To be honest, this has nothing to do with VST Connect, but in my recording days, every guitar part that I ever recorded, I always had the DI in it for that reason. And it saved me a number of times where, I would have a guitar player early in the process and we would record something and we would go for a specific kind of a tone and I would put mics on the amp. But sometimes when you have someone in early in the process and then the direction of the song changes a little bit, you're in a position where it's like, maybe I don't like the tone that I recorded. Maybe it's too heavy. Maybe it needs to be heavier. Maybe I put some crazy effect that I loved that day, but now I don't love it anymore. If you have the DI track, you can just run that through an amp or through a plug-in after the fact and change the sound, but you still have the original performance. So that's a great strategy, Derek. It's amazing. The only problem with it, and maybe Devin can relate to this, I'll put them back on the screen here. It looks like all of my stuff has downloaded. Maybe Devin can relate to this as well, but guitar players really like guitar players. Devin's a producer, so he's cool. He gets it. But some guitar players, and I hope there are none of you out there that are offended by the idea of a DI, some guitar players get really upset that you might record a direct tone because it's not their tone, man. They want the tone. And they don't want you to hear their straight out of the guitar. They want you to hear the glory of the finished tone. So did you have, let me put you back in record here, Devin. We can't hear you. Sorry. There we go.
No, nice.
There you go. You're back. Yeah.
Yeah, I usually do get a DI, even if I I usually try and get the tone that we want, that I like, that they like. I also will take a DI, partly because of that reason. It allows me some options in the future. A lot of times I feel like I'm trying to limit options just because we have so many options. You don't want to limit stuff prematurely. A big help, another reason I keep the DI, even if I'm going to keep the tone that we've recorded, is it helps editing so much. You record a distorted guitar, the waveform gets flattened out if it's really loud and gnarly sounding. It can be really hard to edit or to guess where you're editing. But if you're in Cubase and you've got the DI, you just group them together. You can audio warp stuff around. It's disgustingly simple.
Yeah. The editing thing is for
Highly
sure.
suggested.
Yeah, that's for sure a thing. Yeah, you're totally right about that. We got another question from Aya, and it's a really good question. She's like, if we record through this and we don't like the effects, can we undo them or change them after? Well, if we record through the effects, we can't really undo it if it's recorded that way. But the one thing that we can do is up here, there's this little effects button next to where the record button is that I chose over here. Can you guys see that? I think so. This little effects button, if I turn that off, we will hear the sound of the plugin, but it will not record. That's right, Devin? Yeah. So if I turn that...
Yeah, so you'd end up recording a DI, but while I was playing it, I would hear the distorted thing. So it's like a comfort amp almost.
For sure. But the flip side to that is that you would have to... I think I just lost my mic. I did. The flip side to that is you would have to have some kind of an effect after the fact. Like you would only be recording the
Yeah,
DI.
yeah. You would likely want to add something to it on your own insert. Yeah.
Do I have some more batteries here? I don't know why these batteries died. They were fresh. It doesn't matter. I have this mic. Everyone can still hear me. Check, check. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. So I think that's covered. Let's take a look at these tracks.
Well, we got those weird question marks. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do that, don't we? Yeah. Let's do that. So here's the here's the high def track that we have here, and they're all laying on top of each other here. So you know, we can edit them like we would any other tracks. We can move them around. Now they're WAV files in there, so that's pretty cool. Let's do another track with this weird thing that was in input 3. So before, have you unveiled it yet? No, you haven't. Okay, I'm going to hide you. You're hidden off my screen right now.
I haven't.
I'm going to show everybody how to. So if I go back up, now I don't want to record on the same track because I want to leave that track. But if I now go up to the VST Cloud menu again, back to the VST Connect Pro drop down, I've got the option of Create Performer Track. So all I have to do is hit Create Performer Track, and another one pops up. Before we get to this, there's one other thing that I want to make note of here. Under the VST Cloud menu, VST Connect Pro, there's something called Check and Repair Configuration. So if you're messing around with settings and if your internet connection gets interrupted and something weird happens in your computer and everything is still up, but somehow the connection isn't as good as it once was, if you click that, it kind of sort of is like a reset for everything, and it hopefully gets you back going. So if you are having trouble and the connection was working and it stops working, then that's a way that you can sort of make it happen again. Okay, so let's get off of this track and let's go on to this track, and let's go back into here, and I'm going to turn off 2 and I want to record onto 3. And again, if I wanted to turn off this effect so I didn't have anything in the inserts working, that would be fine as well. But okay, so I'm ready. What do you got there, man? What is that? Well, it looks like an acoustic
Sounds
guitar.
like an acoustic, right?
I can see your shirt through the guitar.
So, yeah. So I mean, I'll admit, Brent sent me this to try, and I was suspicious, only because it looks like it's from space, which is cool, but I'm not from space. And honestly, this thing sounds pretty good. Like, it sounds like a nice acoustic plugged into a PA or like something. It's got these built-in effects. There's like reverbs and stuff, but the chorus is where it's at. I just like didn't even know what to think. Like,
it's amazing, man. It's so good.
that's absurd.
It's so good.
It's absurd. Yeah, so it's I read about it a little bit. It's got like a pickup inside of it, and then it does a physical modeling thing, and you can blend them in it. But it, it sounds like an acoustic.
Amazing.
guitar.
And for those that are more classically minded, there is also a nylon string version. So if you're more into the nylon string thing, you can do that too. And I actually made a couple of live recordings with someone, an amazing player named Garnet Rogers, using the nylon string version, and wow, did it ever sound good. So. It's so good.
Can't argue with that.
Okay. Well, let's just for fun. I mean, I think what you did on that last track was pretty awesome. But just for fun, let's just record it just to show people that we can record on another track as well.
I'm gonna put this chorus on it though.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, man. Totally.
Make it 80s-ish.
Totally. Okay, here we go. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds so good. And it's kind of like
So
the
light. It's so small.
well, it's also
Really
kind of
light.
like, and you can see everybody that we recorded there. Oh man, that's so good. Um, it's kind of the perfect instrument for this remote stuff too, because it plugs in obviously, and if you're on that end, if you're on the performer end, and you're not comfortable with microphones or don't have microphones or whatever, this gives you a pretty great
Yeah.
acoustic sound with all these options. And you just plug it in straight into the interface. Did you do like? Do you have any? You're just straight in,
Yeah, I'm just straight in through a DI.
and all that stuff is
Yeah.
built into the guitar. Wow.
Yeah. It's all in there. It's got a little EQ. Like I tweaked it a little bit. I found a balance I liked. Um, but actually, I don't think I touched the EQ at all. I just found a balance of the pickup and the other option, whatever it is, the mic. And
So good.
it shouldn't sound like that.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah, it's wild.
Amazing. Okay, guys, and so now if I wanted to download that track, I can do the same thing. I can just go back here and I can get the HD files, and you can see the ones I haven't downloaded are just in blue. And I'm getting the HD file, and it's doing the download thing again down here at the bottom. You can see it doing its thing. And there's only one little file here, so this shouldn't take too long. But that's kind of it on this side. Oh, okay. They're talking about the O Canada contest, which was this cool Yamaha thing. I got to work on the video, which was fun.
Oh, nice.
O Canada contest was all these students from across the country played O Canada on their instrument, and they had to go to their favorite place where they live, and so there was like cool Cape Breton ones, and all these. Everybody was in these amazing locations, like in the middle of winter. A couple of people on skates. It was pretty epic, man. It was amazing. Anyway, okay. So, Devin, are we? I think we're good with this side of things. Can I play on something of yours?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we flip it around? So we're gonna
Let's
quit.
do it.
I'm gonna quit Cubase, and Devin's gonna quit VST Performer, and then I'm gonna boot the Performer app, and Devin's gonna boot his Cubase, and then we're gonna try this the other way, so you can see what it's like on the Performer side. Yes. All right.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, man. We'll see you shortly. And he's gone. Devin Lougheed is offline. Okay. All right. Let's get out of this. And I'm going to save that. That was fun. Okay. So we're done with that one. Let's go. I have it in my little doc here. So VST Connect Performer. It looks like that. And that. And it's pretty straightforward. So this says, please be aware that you're about to exchange information via the internet. To establish the connection between the two parties, Steinberg temporarily stores your IP address, name, and key that you have chosen to use with VST Connect. All other data is not personalized and is not stored or managed on a Steinberg server. Data exchange between two parties is performed on a peer-to-peer basis. There's a handy little don't show again box, which maybe you might not want to read that every time, but it's kind of like a privacy thing that we have to put because we don't want to get into trouble. Okay, here we are. I'm here. Same thing. I have to sign in, so I'm going to hit the check mark, and it's going to sign me in. B. It's coming. It's coming. This side's a little bit easier. So look, Devin is here. Is he going to invite me, or am I going to invite him? It's the same thing. I've got the find user, and I've also got the friends. So if I go to find user, I can look for the person I'm going to work with, and friends I can do here. Okay. Oh, it's like an elevator beep. Oh, crash. Okay, we'll try it again. Here we go. VST Connect Performer. And you know what? I should have clicked that Do Not Show Again button, shouldn't I? Let's do it now. Here we go. We're back. Connect. It's a good thing that we're crashing, actually, because you guys get to see that it's not the end of the world. I just had a login failed. Let's try again. It could be because I have so many. Oh, there's Devin waiting for connection. I have a lot of. Oh, we're down again. I have a lot of computers connected to the same thing. We're going to try this one more time. You can see my video down here in the little corner here. Login failed. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, one more time. And if not, we'll bail on this and I'll take some questions. Or we could restart. That usually works. One more time. I am logged in. Devin is logged in. Let's see if we get the elevator beep again. Should I? We did. Did we connect? No, we're crashing. I'm going to restart. Let's try this again. You know what I should probably do? The only problem with this is that I can't talk to him unless we're connected. So I can use my trusty phone to text Devin and say, hey, man, I'm going to restart. Oh, I have my mic. I didn't think it went away when I restarted because it's connected through the computer. Anyway, that's why it was uncomfortably silent. Okay, we are back. Let's let the startup routine finish, and then we'll try to connect. I really want you guys to see this because this is super fun. Okay, let's try again. VST Connect Performer. There's a lot of teenagers in this house too, so you never know. They could all be on the internet right now and causing me all kinds of grief, but they're all amazing, so I'm not going to blame it on them. Okay, we're back. There he is. And let's see what happens. Wait for connection. This looks good. This looks good. No, it's not going to happen, guys. Maybe we can do it in another session. We'll try one more time. It's so disappointing because we had it working so well earlier, and it's now not working. No, it's not going to work tonight. For whatever reason, we're having network problems. Anyway, sorry guys, but we'll do it again. But I can take you through this side of it. It's the same mixer situation, and I get to set up my inputs and outputs. So on audio device 1 is this mic is plugged into input 1 on my mixer, and then this one is set to stereo 3 and 4. And the reason it is because this keyboard is plugged in. Oh, come on. Listen to that. And like I told you can do that without breaking keys, which is amazing. So I have the mic into 1. I have the keyboard into 3, 4. And we can do cool things on this side, which I couldn't show you because they're only on the performer side. But there's a built-in reverb here. So if I'm singing and I want to have reverb on my voice, I can turn the send up and down here. So if I want a lot of reverb, and I want to make it sound like a crazy 80s record, I can do that. Now, only I can hear this. Here, let's make it a little bit like a smaller room. There we go. Only I can hear it on this side, so I get to set this up exactly how I want it to. There's very wide stereo reverb and very mono-y reverb. So I can set this up so that it sounds good to me, but it doesn't get recorded. The same insert thing would happen here. Only Devin could pick from the inserts on my side. Let's turn off that reverb. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I also have, if my microphone is lacking in treble or bass or whatever, I can also select my EQ, and I can actually see there's lots more, or I can make my voice sound super bassy. So I've got all these cool little things I can add on this side of it to hear myself, and all the stuff along the bottom here is exactly the same on the other side. So that would all look exactly the same as it did on the other side. Let's try one more time. And if this doesn't work, we'll leave it for another session and we will say goodnight. But let's try one more time. No, it's not going to work tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I don't really know why. I guess the network isn't going to cooperate. But in any case, it's a little awkward because my mic battery ran out. Something happened when that battery ran out, and we were having so much fun. But we'll do it again. Let me see if there's any more questions. I don't see anything that needs to be answered. JG, we got anything that I didn't get to? How disappointing, folks, but we'll make it happen again in the future. But if JG doesn't have anything else for me, perhaps we will go back to that amazing playlist that was putting me in such a good mood and try it again. Not hearing anything, so maybe I will play you out. Thanks everybody for tuning in again. Sorry for the abrupt ending. We'll do it again. But hopefully that first part, you saw how easy it is to do this remote thing. And hopefully you developed a little bit more love for the YC61 and the silent guitar and the Yamaha RevStar electric guitar. And even some of the plugins are pretty cool also. So keep enjoying Cubase, keep making music, and we'll see you in a month.